4, 3, 2, 1, -1. Are we live, Jamie? All right, Devin fucking K. Demonetized immediately.
I'm the loyalist.
Yeah, wearing an excellent chocolate chip DBDU top.
That's true. It's a fantastic shirt.
Right, and the question is, what the fuck is on your head?
Oh, well, this is the Canadian style wedge cap, which is actually their formal garment from their region of their dominions. So this is something that you would see worn in formal events and as just a piece of winter headgear all the way from about the 1850s clear through Korea. So
is it the beaver skin cap similar to it?
They're made out of, well, there's no really set style they have to be made out of, and they can be, formal ones are made out of bearskin, like this one. Like the British, their big, tall, like grenadier hats and their little fusilier hats, they're all made out of black bearskin, which actually all comes from Canada and
in North America, yeah.
Yeah, but you can find them made out of sheepskin. Historically, the vast majority of them are made out of sheepskin because that was cheap and readily available. You can find them made out of beaver, mink, other types of critters, coyote, wolf. Just anything basically to keep your head warm, except for the formal ones were all made out of black bear hide.
Yeah. Do black bears exist in the UK? I don't know.
I'm not sure. But
yeah, that's a question like I just raised because they were importing it. I'm sure it's more plentiful here, but like
I know that all the ones made nowadays that like the guards actually use do come from Canada. So
well, yeah, because they're black. Like it's very dark. Yeah, it's that black bear skin.
True. So I'm wearing this because it is actually Queen Elizabeth II's 95th birthday today.
Cool. She can't die soon enough. Her son died before she did.
Huh?
Her son.
Her husband. Who is 99.
Yeah, why wasn't he king? Why wasn't he king then?
Because he's not of the bloodline. He married into it. He's a royal consort.
Oh, there we go. We go.
Which is why I didn't really care, because he's not the queen. But
well, every time one of those fuckers in that fucking retarded inbred cabal dies, even though he wasn't technically inbred, the world becomes a better place.
He was actually heir to the Greek throne. But with
the world becomes a better place when anybody from that family and the cabal dies. The world becomes a better fucking place.
I mean,
like, let's be honest.
It doesn't really have too much effect on society anymore. But and Mike's frozen.
Well, according to you, the loyalist, it does.
Yeah, to the people that are loyalists, that's about it.
Well, how many are there?
There's quite a lot actually.
Right. So my point is valid.
True, but here's the thing. If I know anything about humans, all right, it's that humans really like to fuck, all right? And the royal family's not going to stop fucking, all right? They're going to keep that line. That line goes all the way back. They have like 150 replacements if everyone dies. There's a shit ton of people in line.
How many? Okay, so answer me this there, Mr. fucking loyalist. How many illegitimate bastard kids are out there who are the result of the royal family fucking outside of their inbred selves?
Probably quite a lot from like the early 1800s and 1700s and stuff, but basically since so they stopped
the
mid 1800s.
They just stopped fucking prostitutes and people. They just stopped fucking prostitutes and like random like cool guys like outs. They just stopped doing that after that time period. Really?
Pretty much, yeah. Because they get other royal families that they get to get married into. So,
okay.
And a royal consort is different than just somebody else. And a royal consort oftentimes is not considered a legitimate kid. So that's just where the cutoff is. Unless it's basically a planned kid, it doesn't count.
Christ.
Yeah. So.
It's a wonder why the world was so fucked for so long. And now it's fucked in a different way. But like, it's a wonder why.
Yeah. Well,
inbred fucking family.
It's the same shit, different toilet, basically, is all it is. So.
Oh yeah. Well, theirs is gold fucking plated.
That's fair.
Trump's toilets look like fucking, some shit I buy at Walmart,
True. Should they actually
royal
have the
family
really old-timey toilet where the tank is like really high up on the toilet because it runs
That's
off
cool. That
gravity?
actually the gravity fed ones.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm all
those
for
look
that.
really
I
good.
love those.
Yeah,
I love those.
they
Yeah,
have,
when I
like,
was
the
in
cold
when I was in
thing
one of
on them.
Saddam's palaces, they
Yeah.
fucking had those, and it was
They
fucking
work
awesome.
really fucking well. Like,
I pissed in a toilet in Saddam's palace, so I've got that going for me.
That's true. Well, I mean, he's basically royalty for the Middle East, so until you guys killed him and the kids and.
Well, no, he was appointed royalty by us, and then we killed him. So, good stuff.
Checks and balances. That's how the U.S. system works.
And so we're operating on a scale that's like it pales in comparison to the fucking British Empire and the royal family throughout history, But we're trying. We're trying.
Yeah, America's there. They're just they're not as open about it.
Well, what's weird is so the Ba'ath Party and Saddam's uniform. Like if you look at those, they were directly fucking ripped off from British dress uniform.
Well, yeah, you know who was running Iraq after World War I? For like a long time.
Yeah. But I'm saying, even after the Americans got involved and all the Western powers got involved, that the shit was still like very, very British looking.
Yeah, I mean it looks good. So
I mean they had some palms on there, to make it Iraq
traditional Middle East,
right. But we'll incorporate that into the British rank insignia and the fucking red collar tabs. Yeah, what the fuck you call them. So. And yes, I know, before anybody comments, the double chin is out in force tonight. Look at that son of a bitch.
Mine too.
Yeah. That's because you're fucking anorexic. You have an eating disorder. We all know that. You have an opposite eating disorder that I do.
I eat all the time.
Mm-hmm. You got worms. That's why. You just ride it out.
I don't think I have parasites. It's been a while since I've had parasites.
Dude, I cannot wait until we're like fucking 40 or 50 and you balloon up like a fucking pig.
It wouldn't surprise me, but
I'll
notice that I'm getting fat before then and change my eating habits.
Oh no, it won't matter at that point. It'll be too late. It'll be like, well, all the shit we're gonna make up for lost time here.
No, it's gonna be like, you remember that 2 Twinkies you had back when you were 15? 80 pounds.
Yep, you're fucked. If you drink tea, you're fucked. You gain 3 pounds.
Shit, I drink a lot of tea.
Yep, you know what I mean? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I'll be sitting here going, wow, thanks. I'm glad we did these streams for this many years because you make me look like a fine specimen.
Fair.
So,
well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. How's that sound?
Oh, we definitely will. We definitely will.
I mean, I hope it doesn't have a weight limit, if you're right.
Well, there is no weight limit. No, it's just how high can you go?
I beg to differ. You heard of I-94. That bridge collapsed.
No, it didn't. The I-35W bridge.
Oh, that's what collapsed. I mean. Sorry. Yeah.
Jesus,
you know what I mean.
You know what I mean. No, I didn't, because 94 is a way different road. See, spewing shit you know nothing about.
I don't know.
Just throwing that out there, but it'll be cool. Like when you're like fucking sitting there falling asleep on the stream because your blood sugar is getting low. Low by low I mean like 140. And you're like, fuck, I gotta have something, and you just squirt fucking cake frosting into your mouth. Like, okay, we're back.
I mean, I could really go for a tub of frosting right now. That sounds pretty good.
Well, who couldn't?
I don't know.
Even the most serious diabetics could go for a tub of frosting at any point.
Well, I mean, I'm not hearing a no, so maybe that's what I'll do after the stream.
Oh, Jesus.
Just go buy a tray of cookies and a tub of frosting and just.
And I get to go visit you in the hospital, because you're sitting there, doing everything.
Yeah.
Just I got the sugars and I'm on the fucking disability. Yeah. Like.
Oh God.
Yeah, good to see you, Devin. You're in great shape, buddy. Like, just keep going forward. That's gonna happen.
More Jello cups.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
not the sugar-free shit. God damn it!
Yeah. It's just I was just gonna say it. Not the sugar-free jelly cup.
Fuck. That's what's gonna happen, and we know it.
You know,
like we know it.
I don't know. I'm pretty healthy. I exercise regularly and eat a lot better than I used to. So
you have cut your sugar intake, and well, I don't want to say in half, but like down, which is good.
It's like a 20th of what it was a year ago.
That's good.
Yeah, I was like over 1,000 grams of sugar a day.
Yeah, and that my friend will pose so many fucking problems.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I need to fucking quit doing this.
Right. It doesn't matter how skinny you are, like
yeah.
It does not matter at that point. When you're eating that much fucking sugar, it's like, well, it's not good for me, and it's definitely not good for you.
Fair.
You just get to look better while you're dying.
Yeah, pretty much. And I felt like I was dying, but it got to the point where like that's what I was just living off of, is like working, back when I was still working, 90 hours a week.
Yep.
And like that's what I was living off of, was just sugar and terrible drive-through food and everything. And I can't do caffeine. I'm not one of those people that gotta have a shit ton of caffeine because my heart feels weird.
Yeah, I can't either.
I having sugar, just eating sugar all day.
Yep.
And it wasn't even real sugar. It was all corn syrup, more than likely. So
yeah, and then like the refined sugar, it's like fuck, that industry is something else. Like the way they got into there in the 20th century, specifically World War II, it's like, well, we can't make rum and sell enough, so let's just put it in everything. And then Dwight Eisenhower has a heart attack in 50, whatever the fuck year it was.
Was it 57?
Yeah, I don't know the year. I just don't. I don't want to look it up right now. But like, so he has a heart attack, mild one, so he survived. But then they had like a bunch of the best doctors, like they've got nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Not naming any names.
Supposedly the best doctors that also will give opioids out like they're you
Sure, but like, yeah, you got the best doctors like nowadays, apparently. And there was an American doctor who said fat was the root cause of Eisenhower's heart attack because it built up in his arteries, blah, 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 had a scientific, quote unquote, fucking reason. And there was a British doctor that said, well, actually it's sugar. It's the amount of sugar and carbohydrates in his diet.
Yeah.
It's not evening out.
I mean, it was probably a lot of both. He didn't eat very healthy. So
well, but here's the thing. Americans, like, they never go to extremes. They never just pick one extreme side or the other. So they were like, well, this British doctor must be full of shit because, I mean, sugar, it tastes good, right? Fat, though. The American doctor got the favor, or the favorable argument, and they sided with
American. Him. Why would we listen to the British people?
Yeah, exactly. Like the Brits, they was fucking, last time we gave a fuck about what any Brits said was July 3rd, 1776. Who gives a fuck, And but the British doctor ended up being right, which we know now fucking X amount of years later. But so they went with fat is the fucking problem. So they started taking fat out of everything.
Yeah, that's when margarine became a thing.
Right. And it's like, well, it was still fat. It's just a different kind of fat.
It's hydrogenated vegetable oil, basically.
Oh, it's so fucking bad for the human body. But anyway, they're like, all right, well, we're going to take fat out of every kind of like, prepackaged food. Well, when you do that, you lose a lot of flavor. You really do.
Yeah, fat is flavor, believe it or not.
Oh, well, what do we replace it with? Well, the guys in the sugar lobby are like, well, we could modify the recipe a bit and incorporate a shitload of sugar. And I think it was actually before corn syrup really became like a big thing, but it was sugar initially. Yeah. The sugar lobby. And they're like, well, we can replace this.
Became real big in the mid 60s. So.
Yep. And we can replace this flavor that's lost in making fat-free foods and low fat, whatever, with sugar. Yeah. And that'll be so much better for the American populace.
Yeah. It's like, so people started, and sodium.
Diabetes fucking skyrockets.
Yeah.
Liver dysfunction skyrocket. All these other fucking medical problems that come along with the copious amount of sugar intake skyrocket. Yep. But let's just keep pushing that low fat shit because we got the lobbyists, we got the fucking
got that government backing money.
Yeah, I mean, let's just fucking do it. Keep going with this.
Fair.
And it lasted really until the mid 2000s. Because like when I was a kid, low fat was like, oh.
Well, back when you were a kid, you probably remember that bullshit food pyramid that's not even correct.
That was made by General Mills?
So, well, the government also developed, the U.S. Department of, what was it, Agriculture developed their own food pyramid too?
No, they didn't. That's the thing. It was General Mills' food pyramid. They were talking about it, and they're like, the bottom of the pyramid, the most people should eat is grains, because it's good for you.
Right.
And then it's basically the opposite of what the human body's made to digest.
Supposed to have, yeah. It has like protein and dairy at the very top, the smallest amounts.
No, it's sugars and sweets at the top, which is correct. But that amount of carbohydrates is not fucking classically and naturally developed, or digested by human bodies.
Yep.
In a great way. And they had meats and dairy were at the second to top, right?
Yeah.
Well, dairy, I get that, because some people, the human body is not made to digest.
Lactose intolerant, so.
Right, but like you understand, like we're the only mammal that drinks. Well, I know somebody's be like, well, actually, other mammals do, but like we're the only mammal that drinks another mammal's milk past the point of us drinking our mother's milk.
Yeah.
Like we keep drinking it, right?
Yeah.
And we make things out of it, like cheese. And it's like, well, at some point your body's gonna be like, yeah, we haven't needed this since we were about 2 years old.
Yeah.
So let's kind of like, make you sick so you don't want to fucking eat anymore, because it's hard to digest. That particularly sugars, it's also sugar is hard to digest. Now,
yeah.
in like solid cheese, like aged cheese, the lactose gets eaten up by the
enzymes,
cultures. Right, and it turns in, it's fucking okay. Because I do know a lot of lactose intolerant people that can eat like Parmesan, like aged.
Yeah, I can eat a lot of cheese and stuff. That's fine, but I can't do like yogurt and milk.
Well,
anymore.
Depends on what kind of yogurt too. It's like the shit I think the shit they put in the stores. I think you're not really reacting to the lactose. You're reacting to the sugar that they put in there.
Fair. Well, even if I get the ones without the sugar, I still get.
Yeah, and then that's definitely a thing. That's definitely a thing.
I think the bacteria doesn't help. I feel like it's the lactose, but there's a lot of the bacteria in there that doesn't help. It doesn't react well.
Maybe. But I mean, so like when I was in Iraq, that's the first time I ever saw people drinking kefir, right?
Yeah, and I drink that all the time, and that stuff's great.
Okay, so I was like, what the fuck are you guys like? What is this? It looks like you drinking cum, like out of a fucking bottle, right?
It's pretty dense, yeah.
And so I tried one of the Iraqis, like, what the fuck is that? And they're like, protein, strong, like that's the only couple words they knew. And, and I'm like, okay, what is it? And so I asked one of the interpreters, I'm like, what the fuck is it? He's like, it was the Watto guy, the older guy, smoked fucking 3 packs of cigarettes a day. And he's like, that is, it's a milk that is, it's combined with enzymes and like yogurt, but more drinkable. Yeah. And he's like, he's been drinking it for thousands of years. And I'm like, okay. So I tried some, and I'm like, they had just a plain shit. I'm like, God, it's fucking.
Like, it's real sour. Yeah.
I like plain yogurt. I always have. My grandma got me hooked on that. You mix fruit and shit with it, but plain yogurt's fine. But I drank it, and it was like, fuck, this is like it's really sour. It's just different, Yeah. It wasn't bad, but it was like, and it was also effervescent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is kind of carbonated.
Yeah.
A bit,
I'm like, what the fuck is this, And it wasn't until I got back that I was like, I think I just bought a bottle one time because I'm like, what the fuck is this? Drinkable yogurt. I love yogurt. Let's do this. And I'm like, oh shit, this is what they were drinking over there. And it's called kefir, I guess, which also sounds like an Arabic word.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so they're drinking basically fermented milk.
Yep.
And
it has like 40 different kinds of bacteria in it.
Right.
At least the one that I buy has
and
like 40 different kinds of bacteria in it. So, and it lists them all on the back.
That's good. Right, because like, your gut, right?
Mm-hmm.
People think your brain runs your body. It does. Your second brain is your digestive tract, right?
Yep.
And it's this really intricate microcosm of bacteria, and it's a balance.
Yep.
The bacteria you get in like drinking kefir or eating yogurt or cottage cheese or sauerkraut or kimchi or any kind of fermented food, really, the gut flora improves. Like a lot of the bad bacteria gets killed because it can't survive because the good bacteria takes over, which makes your system thrive, and you shit out the bad bacteria, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Feel a lot better, that's for sure.
You do, yeah. I mean, if you're really infected and you start drinking a bunch of that shit, like you're gonna have some diarrhea, you're gonna have some fucking stinky shits, but it's like eventually, yeah, you'll feel really good. And like it also just it helps your body break down the organic matter that you ingest.
Yep. Not to mention help boost your immune system and
right. Exactly.
Proper, blood movement throughout your body and tons of other things. So
yeah, and that's the thing is like your body, your second brain is made up of mostly bacteria. And it's like the kind of bacteria in there matters, and the bacteria is in your blood. Oh my God, it's in your blood. But here's the thing: is we're organic. We're just animals, right? Like
we're carbon.
Right. We're carbon. But it's like, we need bacteria in our bodies for sure. And like when you get an infection, that's because bad bacteria took over, and it's like the good bacteria can't fight it, etc. It happens. But here's the cool thing too: is like, so I was having I had multiple conversations about this, like beforehand, and then when I was in the hospital too, talking with nurses and shit. And I'm like, do you think that, because when I was a kid, right? So you go into the doctor if you're sick, right? Your parents always bring it, or my parents always brought me in when it was like bad. And without even thinking, they would just they prescribe antibiotics like immediately.
Yep, they're like, here you go.
It's like, well, is it a viral infection? Or is it a bacterial infection, looking back. But like then I was like, okay, cure, I'll feel better. And so I was asking like, so the millennials, right, that had that happen to them, antibiotics, usually the strong ones especially, kill everything.
Yeah, in your body. Well,
good and bad.
The millennials like you and me are the reason why there's so many bacteria resistant
MRSA
out there now, because they just kept giving us antibiotics every single time something would happen.
Well, and people would stop taking them when they felt better. That's a big thing.
And then they would get
and it's like
now that's why strep throat is now basically like, unless they think you're gonna die, they just send you home with it. They're like, just deal with it, let it run its course, because it's so antibiotic resistant now.
But also, so think about this: we're taking antibiotics every time we get sick. We're eating literal poison.
Yep, poison.
Fast food, fucking processed food, fucking Regu Express, Easy Mac. Which, I mean, they taste it fine, but it's poison. It's fucking...
It's poison, yeah.
It's shit, right? All this processed, prepackaged food. It's
they
like,
even
well, that's
chemicals in all the water.
Right, and it's like, that's got to take its toll on the human body and the immune system.
True.
It has to.
Yeah.
Because your good bacteria is fucking gone. You can't defend yourself against shit that like gets into your body and just sits there and wreaks havoc.
Yep.
And it weakens your whole, it's just fucking insane. So
your gut is the core of everything in your body.
Yeah.
It all stems from your gut. Your brain doesn't work without your gut. Your heart doesn't work without your gut. Your lungs don't work without your gut.
Yeah, and it's a really it's interesting just to think about it.
Fair.
So
there's a lot of weird stuff. I don't like how the human body, I don't like to think about how weird it gets.
Yeah.
Think about it. We've been around for how long, and people are still figuring this shit out?
Yeah, and
because
it's
like a wonderfully complex piece of machinery the human body is, but like,
it's insane. But there are also very talented people and smart people that have got about as close of an understanding of it as we can get.
Yeah, like that loyalist British doctor.
What?
And the sugar. For Eisenhower.
Ah. Yes. But yeah, it's insane. Like as far as like surgery, that's actually the Greeks had documented this shit, and the Romans started to try it. Like, they understood that the room had to be completely fucking sterile.
Yeah.
Everything had to be sterile.
Everything and lie.
Yeah, which makes it sterile, right?
Yeah. But it's also poison, so.
Well, they had the concept, and like,
yeah.
But what was weird is like when the Catholic Church became super powerful,
that all went away
after the fall of the Roman Empire. Well, here's the thing: is it didn't go all the way. It just went in a vault in the Vatican. All this paperwork, all these documents, all this knowledge
that can only be read by 10 fucking people in the Vatican City. Yeah.
Right, but here, you know why they did that? Because it grants the normal person power.
Well, yeah, they don't want people to have power. The church needs the power.
No, God wills it. If you're sick, you'll get better if God wills it.
I mean, that's fair.
Right, but like that's the thing is like you have power over somebody if you say what we say goes, and like
pretty much.
Okay. And then all these people tried as witches and shit because they were like, well, I figured out a way to like make this person better using just regular like herbs and vegetables.
Eat this mushroom and you'll feel a ton better.
Right. Yeah. But no, that shit was hidden forever. And what I really think, the Black Plague, everybody's like, it's the worst catastrophe that ever happened. I actually, yes, but in everything that horribly bad and that large scale, something good comes out of that. And I think a lot of people lost faith in the church's ability to, it's God's will. Well, eventually when people started realizing it was a bacteria and they came up with this, even though they didn't understand what bacteria was, they're like, well, this works.
Yep.
If we're treating somebody early, if they got the symptoms, we mix this shit together. It works. They're not sick. And it's like, well, I think people were like, well, the church said it's God's will, but this human just saved me.
Wasn't it some weird French guy that took a bunch of people that figured out that if you take somebody, because like people did recover from it, and once they started to recover from it, he's like, oh, I'm going to just open all your blisters now and take all the pus out. And he used that to inoculate people by cutting their arms open and smearing this pus on it.
Oh, because the antibodies.
Yeah, because it had both the infection, and the antibodies, and so people would recover from it. Some French guy.
I don't know. I don't know the actual I don't know the intricacies of it, but like I understand that humans made it better, and that's the whole trope of like people that are super religious. The guy that gets wrecked at sea, and he's like, "Well, God will save me," and there's a boat that comes up with a guy in it, and he goes, "Hey, I'm here to help you," and he goes, "Nope, God will save me. Move along."
Yep, move along. Yeah,
he does that for 3 boats. And God will save me. Move along. And then he dies, he drowns, he gets tired, whatever. He goes up to heaven and says, God, why didn't you save me? He goes, I sent you 3 fucking boats with people to save you. That's the old trope, and it's like, well, it's very true. And like, but my point is like, the Catholic Church, they hindered a lot of progress.
Well, they still do.
They don't have the power that they did back in the day.
No, they don't. But
in a lot of the world, they do, but like not everywhere.
Fair. They got more influence than the Queen does.
Oh yeah.
By like a lot.
No, seriously. Yeah,
they do by like a lot.
It's fucking insane, and it's a giant fucking corporation that's made to make money.
Well, I mean, I was raised super Catholic.
So was I.
And I kind of like this new pope because, he is like the supposed like voice of God and stuff like that. He basically said hell doesn't exist, which means I'm scot-free.
He also is like on board with a lot of SJW bullshit.
That's true. And he's all for the gays now.
Yeah, which that's fine, but like.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not fine.
Building walls to keep people out is, fucking it goes against God's will. Why is there a giant fucking wall around the Vatican then?
Yeah. Also, doesn't it say like literally? So, I mean, even if we don't put up walls, how many genocides are in the Bible?
Well, perpetrated by Catholics or?
Just in general, I think there's like a bunch. It literally says put entire cultures to the sword. in the Bible.
Yeah, that you
Is that
understand,
not
like,
putting up a wall, basically?
yeah, but like it's true, but like that also wasn't Catholics for
No,
the
that
most
wasn't.
part.
No.
Very
Not to
interesting.
mention, all those crusaders that put up all those walls. And
Well, the Crusades. I don't even want to get into that, but like everybody's like,
all
oh,
13 of those crusades.
fucking Catholics, like they wage war, they slaughter innocent people, and it's like,
Well, so did every other religion, literally. So.
But that was a
maybe
reaction.
the Hindus.
That was a reaction. With
Yeah.
the Crusades, it didn't just happen.
No.
Like people think it just like the Catholics when they decided that we're gonna go to Palestine and fuck everything up. Well, no, that's not what exactly happened. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people don't
it was
know
a reactionary force.
3 crusades were Spanish. So
right. Because the Moors came up through Gibraltar
and
they fucking were in Spain. They took over the majority of Spain and Portugal.
2/3 of it, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, well, they're here now. We dealt with this with the fucking Huns back in the day. No.
They got a bunch of French and Germans and Italians and stuff together, and they did this thing called the Reconquista, which is why Spain is now Spain.
Yeah.
So
exactly. That's why Spanish people, a lot of them have a lot of Middle Eastern, North African heritage in them.
True, and they also have a lot of Muslims still.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's just the way it is. Like, if you look at Spanish people before that happened, they're white. They're like, they might be like looking at like Italian because they got, more sun there and it's a desert and shit. There's a big desert in Spain, but they were more white, right?
Yeah.
Spanish people got a little bit more darker skinned when the Moors invaded and fucking were pushing hard.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they kicked ass.
Well, I mean, see, they can fight just like anyone else. If you want something bad enough and you got the numbers to back it up, by all means, you can take it. So
yeah, and so that's very. Most people don't know that. The Crusades were a reaction. Did the Catholics go a little bit far with it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last 5 Crusades probably didn't need to happen, but that was kind of a lost cause. That was just like throwing people into a meat grinder at that point. But
yeah, to get money for the fucking church.
Yeah, fair.
And glory for the church.
They need their shit. That church isn't going to gold plate itself.
Exactly. I mean, and okay, so I say that the Catholic Church is the bane of whatever. I will say this. As far as art is concerned, like Western art, without the Catholic Church, I don't know if
it would be anywhere near where it is.
Right. And because here's the thing is like they commissioned like 80% of the shit in Europe at that point.
True. Not to mention we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are now. The Vatican City actually preserved tons of information, like you said. And they copied it down and sent it to other monasteries and stuff like that. And
well, that's the thing is like, so what the weird thing is about like so Jesus, he was a Jew, but like he was a different breed of Jew. He had a lot of paganistic freaking, like, as the history books go. I'm not getting into a religious debate, but like there's a point to what I'm saying. So he was like, in his practice, it was very paganistic mixed with Judaism.
He was also supposedly like super white compared to everyone else from that region.
Yeah, and he was an Arab guy, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, but all the church depictions say he's like the super white guy.
Well, yeah, European churches, and then the Asian Catholics, they portray him as an Asian guy,
I realized that a long time ago. I'm like, I don't think he's that white in real life. I don't think I don't think he's that white.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like, well,
light brown hair, super pale skin.
Oh, this the guy I just saw fucking twitching on the ground. It looks like the guy I just saw twitching on the ground walking in a fucking small town in Wisconsin. So
yeah, turns out Jesus is Norwegian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like Jesus, like that's why he was persecuted, because his beliefs were a little bit not the traditional like Hasidic Jew sort of thing. Like it was off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm.
And so you take that in, like he got the paganistic shit. So the Catholics at that point were like, well, our religion's going to be based off of Jesus. Actually, they're based off of the Eastern Orthodox, which was the original Christianity of like.
They're all Byzantine at this point. They're still kind of Roman, but
that was literally, I think, the Byzantine kind of the what we call now the Orthodox religion. I think that was like Catholics, I think literally that was what Jesus was. It was like a 50-50 split between Judaism and this New Age kind of evangelist, Christianity. Before Jesus died, like it's whatever, like it was more evangelist, and then it became more around him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's what I think it was. The Romans get that. They kind of have their own version of that and like whatever. Sure. But also, we can't have any of this paganistic shit because that allows people freedom.
I mean, I feel like Jesus was Mormon, probably. But yeah, you're right.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was this weird thing of like
rules you had to follow, and he was very not following the rules. And the Roman Empire is not known for being lenient.
Nope. And so
what
I think happened was, I think that the Romans got so scared of losing power to like the kind of ideology that Jesus followed, with
especially in that region too. That's the far-flung reaches of the empire,
because they hated the Greeks because a lot of them were pagans.
True, and not to mention that is literally a tiny little thin strip from where their worst enemy is at that time, which was the Persian Empire.
Oh yeah. Yep. And so, but anyway, I think that's what happened. That's my uneducated fucking just basically looking at documents kind of view on that. And that's why the Catholic Church, when they gained more power in the West, that's why they stifled all of that knowledge that had been around for thousands or hundreds at least at that point. And they just said, well, we don't want anything else besides Roman Catholicism
to be spread. A thing. Yep.
Like, we just want it to be this, but we're still going to keep it to reference it because it's good knowledge and we can figure out how to exploit people.
Right. We need to hoard this knowledge for our own gain.
Right. And I'm glad they kept a lot of it. A lot of it got destroyed over the years, but
true. I mean, Catholic churches and everybody got burned and everything got lost and pillaged and raided. As people became more desperate, you don't see a place with that much fucking gold in it, because even the most country little hodunk church had a bunch of riches into it compared to the countryside around it. So,
so that's
stuff. Humans like shiny.
But again, with anything that I say that's bad ever, there's always an equal amount of good.
There's an equal amount of good for sure. Religion does a lot for a lot of people. It's definitely
it unites people.
To take solace in, lessons to be learned,
and it unites a lot of people too. Like,
I mean, look at the Crusades.
I mean, how else are you gonna get a bunch of these people to like? No, seriously, like looking at that, like, how are you gonna get all these people from different?
Them that, like, if you go die in the Crusades, then you're gonna go to heaven, basically. Like, no matter what you did. So they got like criminals and rapists who literally committed crimes and raped all their way down to the Middle East through Catholic nations. And
but hey, I'll go to heaven because the church told me. Dairy Brigade, Jesus Christ was Mormon.
$10 says it.
I'll take your word for it, man.
Joseph Smith is the one true prophet.
I wasn't there.
I mean, you can go see the site. It's in like Missouri or something like that.
Yeah, he's also a grifter. He's a piece of shit.
He's also dead.
Right, but I'm saying, like, he was literally one of those people that was like going west to swindle people and make his way. I mean, give him props on that.
He didn't want to go west. He was a lunatic. That's all he was. He was just a literal fucking lunatic.
Right, but he figured out that
after him, Brigham Young, was the guy like, we're going west.
Exactly. It's a lot easier to swindle people when they're desperate in the west than it is in an established area more east at that point.
Yeah. True. Not saying I actually like Mormons a lot. They're cool people. They don't drink, but they're pretty interesting.
Well, they don't drink. They don't like. I know a couple, and it's like, I mean, I get along with them. They're fine. They're good people, but like,
they're very nice people. I like that about them. They're super nice people.
Well, it's just like the Amish and the Mennonites.
Mm-hmm.
They're super nice. Like, they're super respectful.
They're like serial killer nice.
Yeah, but like they understand that like that's the way that you should be, because then nobody can get mad at you and nobody can target you. That's very smart.
I think it's an act, and I got to fight them. No,
You'll probably lose. Even with
that's
guns.
true. I mean, I do have guns, though.
I just said even with guns, you'll lose.
Probably.
I think.
Those people are ripped.
Yeah, I mean they work physically.
Shit. Amish people without technology, they've had to think of a lot of crap to do stuff that they have nowadays. So,
but yeah, I mean, like the Amish people and the Mennonite people, because we got some Mennonites around here.
We got a lot of people. So
yeah, not a lot of Amish like the traditional around here, but we have a lot of Mennonites.
Yeah,
and yeah, I literally bumped into one of them at the store. Like I usually don't do that because I don't like being around people. Yeah. But I was so into like looking at sauces, you know me. And I was like, okay, all right, noted. And I backed and I like literally like knocked this woman almost into the other shelf. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, I got so into looking at these sauces that I was totally like, she goes,
yeah,
what sauce were you looking at? And I'm like, well, this one because of this. And then she's like, oh, that looks delicious. And she like grabs it. And she throws it in her basket. She goes, I didn't even notice this section was here. Like it was all the quote unquote Asian sauces. Yeah. I'm like, no, this one I've tried. This one, and it was like instead of like getting pissed off, like she had the right to.
She's like, that happened for a reason. I found this now.
Exactly, because like, yeah, I bumped and I'm like, fuck, and then I turn around, and I see the hat, like in the dress and everything. I'm like,
the oh bonnet God. They have on, yeah.
And I felt even worse. And then I was like, I'm sorry, I apologize. But yeah, she ended up putting like 3 of the sauces in her car. I'm like, so this one, if you're going to be cooking this, is really good. And this one is, for beef or, for pork, this one's better. For chicken or rice, this one's like great. Yeah, we got like this little like mini like 1 minute like speed dating conversation about sauces.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. She goes, it's fine. It's all right. I'm like, are you sure you're not like, I did not get into the thing and like, you're okay? She goes, yep.
Turns around, clocks you with a jar of sauce.
Well, I was afraid she's going to take like a fucking, a throwing, like one of those little spikes. You can just go
pull out a collapsible pitchfork out from under her dress and just
pull out a fucking ass baton. Yeah. Break my fucking knee. We'll see who runs into who now, motherfucker. And then runs away.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But no, she was super nice and like.
They're all really nice people. I haven't had any problems with them, other than I'm sick and tired of, going to stores where they frequent a lot and the horses just shit all over the parking lot.
That's not Mennonite. That's Amish.
Something like that.
Mennonites, they drive pickups. Like they drive shitty pickups, but they drive pickups and like they wear glasses and stuff. Yeah. They have cell phones and shit.
Well, there's a couple stores out by like Long Prairie and Sauk Center where there's a ton of Amish people that live out there, and their horses are just shitting all over the place. And usually they pick it up, but like sometimes they don't.
I mean, they're human.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, well, fuck it. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it's January, but you want to get the steaming pile of horse shit away from the sidewalk where everyone walks.
I've never seen Amish park up that close. Usually they park on the other side of the parking lot and then they walk.
Well, the one store has the tie for their horses, like right next to the building.
Oh.
On the side of the building.
Jeez.
So it's like 20 feet from the door probably, but people still park over there.
Well, every Amish person that I've seen that ties up their horse and carriage, like they usually use a light post in the parking lot away from the.
No, they made like literal cars. Like hitching things
I know.
Out of like wood.
Yeah, hitching post.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's weird. But there's not a lot of actual Amish around here. But yeah, where you're at.
Just about half hour north of me. There's a lot of them. So.
Well, and then one of my friends in the reenacting community, he does World War I German and other shit, and he has what he converted to a gas gun MG0815. And yeah, you'll meet him someday. You gotta get a World War I kit together, US kit or German or whatever. Or Canadian.
Why not Austro-Hungarian?
Well, yeah. But anyway, you'll meet him one day. And so he had all these blueprints like he found for an original 0815 like cart that was it wasn't horse pulled, it was hand pulled. You know? And
one of those little things where it has the wheels that are like this big around.
No, they're wheels. Like they're
big. Oh, okay.
No, it's like it had the gun, the water cans, the hoses. several things of ammunition, and then like spare parts thing. Anyway, it was like it wasn't so heavy that you needed a horse to draw it, but like it made it easier for everybody, like the machine gun
to pull it around. Yeah,
crew to carry. And so he went to an Amish community that was a woodworking community, and he's like, do you think you could build this cart? Yeah. But here's the thing, is if they found out it was for anything related to war or weapons, they wouldn't build it because they oppose that, which is right, in my opinion. But
they're like super peaceful, yeah.
Yep. So he said, yeah, can you just build me this cart with these specific dimensions? And they said, yeah. And he goes, what's the price going to be? And they like quoted him something that's like really cheap.
Way cheap, because everything they have is way cheap. Yeah.
But they literally steamed the fucking wood.
All of it, yeah.
They steamed the wood to make the wheels. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they did it all original. Like they did everything. And it was like I forgot exactly the amount. I'll have to ask him again, but like the amount was like negligible for the amount of work.
Probably like a couple $100, if that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it was built fucking perfect. Like cannot get better at all. Like just whatever. It was built exactly. And he's like, he showed me the card. I saw it and I'm like, what in the fuck? I'm like, this was cost you like $5,000. And he goes, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was like, it wasn't, that expensive. And he's like, yeah, it took him a while, but like, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this thing is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, this cart up by me, those were all those Amish people that will literally build you like a prefab house, plumbing, electrical hookup, and everything. And they're like, all you have to do is arrange pickup and pay for it.
Yep. And that's I know a guy who's very wealthy, but he moved south of town. Yeah. And he literally had the Amish build his fucking house. He's like,
yeah, and it's going to be the nicest fucking house you will ever have. So he
bought all the materials. They said, you need to buy all the materials, have everything ready, and then we're going to charge you $100,000 to build the house. And he goes, perfect.
Yep.
They had that fucker done.
Like made off hand over fist because they don't pay any taxes or anything like that. And they probably only cost them like maybe $25,000 in labor to build that fucking house.
Maybe because they got it done really quick
into the community, so
they got it done real quick. But it was also exactingly perfect.
Well, it has to be. I mean, they have to build all their buildings and shit in like a season,
right? And it has to last.
Yeah, for like 100 years. So
at least, yeah. So they build shit, and that when they're getting money from people, it's like a contract, and they're like, well, all right, you fulfilled your end of the contract by saying, okay, I'm going to get this, this, and this. We're going to build this. You give us the money for, if you're satisfied, and that's that. It's a hard contract.
Yep.
It's like it's a respectable.
The handshake is a big thing in the Amish community.
Yep. So. And it's like, okay, but he said he had that thing built in 5 days, his entire house.
Yeah, and you see these like huge construction teams with like power tools and like huge, skid steers and everything. Yeah, that takes months, and you see all these Amish people with their fucking like hand winches,
hand tools. When they plumb doors, they're using the old school method.
String and a clay plumb. Yeah.
Yep, and they use to hang windows. They do the same shit, and it's like that's that. See, if I ever got a house built, I would try to. Well, I wouldn't. I don't know if there's any Amish out where I want to get a house built, but. That's who I would call. I'd be like,
true. Well, I mean, I'm not that far away. You call they have like a payphone number.
Yeah, but I'm saying
them a letter and they call you from a payphone.
Right, but I would
ask you what you want. Yeah,
I would be doing it a lot farther away from where you're at, like west.
There. Well, they're like, we don't care what it is. You pay a shipping company to come out and pick up the fucking house and take it wherever. We build it here because they have those big trailers.
Yeah, I know that, but that costs a fucking arm and a leg too.
True, but they'll build you a nice 3-bedroom house for $50,000. So,
well, I'm gonna. I'll tell you when you come down here the next time. I'll tell you about the dream house that. It's gonna be fucking biblical. It's gonna be amazing. And if there's any Amish out where I'm planning on doing this in 20 years. they're going to love it because it's part of their heritage. They'll be very familiar with it. Oh, shit. Super chats. There was a second one.
Yep, there was one.
As someone who's transferring from BYU, which I don't know what school that is, as a former Mormon, it's easy to swindle people when they're ignorant and you can hide facts from people. Yep, and it's not just with religion. It's literally anything. It's politics nowadays. It's money.
It's every aspect of your life. Somebody's fucking you.
Yep.
So, even your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
No, that's a good point. And what is BYU?
It's Brigham Young University. It's in Utah.
Oh, okay. Did not know that.
It's a Mormon church, like school. So.
Yeah, okay. I did not know that. Yeah.
I knew that because I actually really would love to move to Utah, and I like the Mormons. So.
No. Good for you. All right. Ben Nelson says, "Good evening, fellows. Missed the first auction live stream, but watched the replay and loved it. Are you going to do live stream May 2nd and 8 auction?" Well, yeah, we're gonna figure that out because like I was talking with Matt from Fudbusters, and we're gonna try to just hit the big three that we call it, which is Rock Island, Centurion, and I forgot the third one actually, because like I don't want to say it and then give it away if it's not correct. But like
James D. Julia.
So those are the big ones. What?
James D. James D. Julia. That's the other one that Ian does.
No. This is a bigger one. But anyway. But yeah, we're gonna try to do a stream like that twice a month. That's what we discussed. And Devin's gonna be on board, and we're gonna have kind of the same format.
As long as there's some more like super weird flare rocket guns.
Well, that's the thing is like some of them will just be like, whatever.
I don't want to read anything about them because I want to keep being surprised.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're gonna find that in every auction though. Like,
I know, right?
So what we did on the last one is like Matt and I went through just the basic list, and we're like, because we got to pick, the spite lot and shit, which is funny because the one that he won was not even part of the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he was just doing it because I was like, oh, it's a decent price. But he fucked himself. He's paying for it more than I am, so I'm glad.
That's fair. I mean, he does get a Car 98 AZ out of it, though.
He got stomped with tax and the fees.
Yeah, and I'm sure, closing fees and shipping fees. And...
Oh, God.
He makes money, though. He makes money. He's a lawyer. He doesn't.
Well, yeah, lawyers don't make money if they're good.
That's fair.
They don't want to take up every fucking case just for the sake of taking it.
Well, it sounds like he's got to go be a defense attorney for Florida Man. He's going to be rolling in it.
Right. But so yeah, the auction thing we'll probably do that once or twice a month. It does, like, honest to God, I've done a lot of live streams like with Devin and other people. That took a lot out of me. Like that was
a really long one. Yeah. By the end of that, I was pretty burnt out.
Yep. I was like, and so was Matt, and he was like driving and shit. And he's like, I was fucking glad it ended when it did. Because it's like, my brain was fried. Like, because you got to remember, like, we're analyzing this shit. And we got to go through all of our, like, our CPU is at its fucking max, right?
Yeah.
It's like, Cody, you're fine. You just went piss and shit. We'll go out in a little bit. We'll take a 5, on the stream live because it's your fucking world. I'm just living in it.
That's fair. I mean, Cody run that place.
But yeah, that stream took a lot out of me, but we'll prepare for it more next time. Not like looking through and like, figuring out what we're going to say, but we're going to just like...
True. If you let me know, I want to take that day off, like in advance.
Yeah.
So I don't have to wake up at, 1 in the morning to try to get done on time.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was like it was a great stream. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did too.
It was fucking fantastic. So did Matt. Matt was like, that was fucking awesome. But that really was very painstaking because like what we do here is we throw mud against a wall and see if it sticks. We thought that it would be a popular stream. It'd be fun. Like for us, it's fun, but we didn't realize how long the auction was going to take and how like we had to be on here. And it was like,
yeah, we were on probably a bit earlier than we had to be. And...
No, we were about like 20 minutes, but not that much. But it was still like that 20 minutes added up in the end.
15 minutes off the stream though.
That's what I mean. Like that 20 minutes, like in the end made up. Yeah. But so it was just like throwing mud against the wall. And then Matt next time should be in the studio and not he probably won't be driving.
That way we can stop seeing fucking comments about, why are you driving?
Because he has to be somewhere that, you know, important because he actually has a fucking life, unlike you
big,
clowns.
important lawyer man.
Right.
I can't wait till he gets so famous and somebody tries to Hillary Clinton him. Like, I was telling him about that. I was like, oh, my car runs just fine. And I'm like, yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But no, that was a fucking great stream. But yeah, so I think I've answered that. Okay, I gotta let the weasel horse out. You want to take the reins or take a bathroom break for 5 minutes, and
sure,
everybody else can take a bathroom break?
I can talk to the peoples.
They're all asking about your hat, which we answered in the first couple minutes. But hey,
that's all right. I'll tell them about it again.
I know, because you fucking love this shit.
I mean, it's all right.
It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it's fucking okay. That's why it's on my fucking head, and it's hot, and whatever. I'm wearing it. It's fine. It's okay.
Pretty nice hat. Bearskin breathes quite well.
I wouldn't know, because I'm not a fucking
loyalist.
Correct. Correct. I'm pretty much an American. I don't give a fuck about the Brits. They do their own thing. You stay on your end of the fucking playground. I'll stay on mine. We're good to go.
Fair.
Don't tell me how to live my fucking life. We'll come
together when there's a giant war, and then we'll go right back to not dealing with each other.
Right. All right. Weasel horse, come here. Show everybody how fucking pathetic you're being. Come here.
No, I don't want to cooperate with you.
The weasel horse, the whisker-beaked weasel horse.
At least he's not shitting in the house.
Well, he did last night because we gave him... No. It was the first time in a long time we gave him a bunch of, like, leftover food and shit. Like
human food, yeah.
And it wasn't just his normal shit. It was like, you know, he was sick.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, we always forget that. Okay, Cody, Jesus Christ. Come here. Oh, he does. Oh, I just moved the computer and he fucking moved over to the... Wow.
See, he doesn't want to. He's not buying any of your shit, Mike.
He knows. All right, I'll be back.
All right.
All right, poo-poo, let's go outside. Let's take a potty.
All right. So for everyone who doesn't know, this is a Canadian wedge hat. This is the Canadians' formal piece of headgear. And it's how you can distinguish them basically since like Victorian times, all the way back to like the 1850s and even informally before that. This one's made out of black bearskin. It has the red scarlet facet and the little gold button for the facet. You can find them in green, some without facets, depends on the era. Most of them are made out of sheepskin, but this is the formal Canadian hat. It's a wedge hat. That's what it's called because it's basically just a square wedge of just hat. So, and this one's got the cool little winter ear flaps that fold down, and it's quilted on the inside. So, but it's a nice hat, and it works quite well for what it is, and more people need to understand what it is actually. So, but this has been a Canadian hat for quite a long time, and they're really nice. You can show guns on YouTube live streams anymore as long as you don't handle them. So I read the terms of service. But I'm wearing this because, by the way, in honor of it is the Queen Elizabeth II's 95th birthday today. So for those of you who are unaware, she is 95 years old today. And her second birthday, which is normally when it's publicly celebrated, goes all the way back to like King George II, which is the second Saturday in June. For those of you who don't know, the monarch of Britain has two birthdays. So, yeah, they're very expensive. But as a loyalist, I need to know these important things until she dies, and then I'm going to be upset because I don't like Prince Charles. I don't like Prince Charles at all. I explained the hat to everybody.
Cool.
And then I explained how once the Queen dies, I'm not going to be a loyalist anymore because I don't like Prince Charles. You okay over there? Do I need to call somebody?
Oh, Dave's just shooting. Like, shooting something big, though. Like, I saw the muzzle flash. Like, what the fuck? So, I had to make sure it's him. I can barely see him behind the pine trees.
Yeah.
So.
You got all those the privacy trees.
Yep. So
how's he doing? Fine?
Yeah. When we're down here, we could we'll go there and shoot, but like the other place too, we'll go up and do the ballistic tests and shit. But I got my body armor too.
I got mine.
Well, no, I had to order a different one because the normal size one that I had, it's not made. It's made for like people your height, you know.
Oh yeah, you're way taller.
See, I have a long torso and a average size legs, and this fucking vest literally went to like right below my tits.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
And it's like, good. I need a little bit more like coverage.
True.
And so I'll just sell the old one, like whatever. But yeah, so I got the new body armor with the nut protector and everything, and I'll just wear the ECH.
There you go. Fair. Glasses. Well, I'm glad that I have an average size torso, but really long legs.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like, because I never noticed that on you, and you're like, I have a 34-inch inseam. I'm like, bull fucking shit, you do.
You're like, yeah, because you're like, I have a 32-inch inseam, and I'm.
No, like I have a 30-inch inseam. Well, the 31 technically,
yeah.
But like, yeah,
it's hard to find odd numbers, and I'm like, technically, I'm a 33.
Right.
Like, if I could find jeans that are in a 33, that's perfect.
But I'm like, fuck that.
But it's like 32 is too short.
Your torso is like average size. And it's like,
and my legs are really long. Yeah.
You're standing on stilts.
Pretty much. So it's a problem. It makes shopping for pants kind of hard because everything looks like I'm wearing capris or they're dragging on the ground. There's no in between.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Which is, by the way, why everyone, when you all ask me why do I wear fucking cargo pants all the time, it's because they fit.
Well, and
they're comfortable. Like I wear a lot of like BDU pants because they fit and they're comfortable. So.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely true. Like.
I guess all the time they're like, how come you don't wear jeans? And I'm like, well, for one, these are cheaper than jeans and they're much more comfortable and they fit better.
And I just like having pockets.
Yeah,
there.
The option of pockets is the best thing ever. And I like having 7 belt loops. I fucking hate jeans where they only put 5 fucking belt loops.
Right.
On the jeans. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's like I was telling people in the Discord, a lot of my ACU pants that I had, like the nylon cotton ones, not the frac use.
Yeah.
I literally just made shorts out of the pants because it is so good in the summer to have a strong pair of pants. They're ugly, but who gives a fuck at that point? It's not a fashion contest.
Yeah.
But they've got the pockets. I cut one that was Velcro and one that was button.
Buttons, right? Yep.
I like the buttons better.
Buttons are so much better.
But dude, I wear those as like fucking swimming trunks.
Yeah, everything. They're so nice. Like people don't realize, like everybody that's fucking working all summer wearing fucking jeans, you're dumb.
Right, and I mean, jeans look good, and like the modern jeans aren't necessarily the same as like what it was originally intended as.
Like I go out of my way to buy like salvage denim jeans because when I want to wear jeans, I want jeans that are designed to be work pants, not fashion.
Well, that's the thing is I have like a couple of pairs of like actual jeans that I paid a lot for back in the day that were like rock solid when I bought them. Like literally it was uncomfortable to wear them because they were so stiff.
Yeah, the heavy like 15-ounce denim that like.
But I've had them for like over 15 years and they're still rocking.
Yeah, that's what jeans are supposed to be.
Yep, but here's the thing too. On the other side, if I'm just gonna go out and I don't need cargo pockets, like if I'm just gonna
a
hang
nice
with people,
pair of jeans. I have a few nice pairs of jeans.
Dude, my favorite brand, and I know it's trashy and like cliche, is Tommy Bahamas.
Well, yeah, he makes awesome clothes.
Dude, the jeans are so light and soft, you'd think they're gonna tear. They don't. And that's all I can ask for in a pair of jeans.
Yeah.
Okay. They look good. They're not pre-torn or faded or whatever. It's like, no, you're gonna get a pair of jeans.
Yep.
That are fashionable, also extremely comfortable, and they won't rip.
Now, what's your favorite color of jeans?
The dark,
like 5 different shades of blue, and then there's like white and gray and black.
Dark blue.
Dark blue. I like just the regular, like classic medium indigo.
Right, but that fades so quickly.
That's fine.
I know it's fine for you, but like, yeah, it does fade though. Like, because I know when I get a dark blue pair, it's gonna fade up to the indigo.
Yeah, fair.
So
I like the medium ones because then it goes with more stuff. If they fade to lighter, obviously, because you're gonna have pairs that you wear more than other pairs because you want to keep a couple of them nice.
Right.
And that way you have more options of what you can wear with them. Because if you get jeans that are too dark, certain stuff doesn't look good with them.
Well, as a fat guy, that's not true. As a skinny little twink like you are,
yeah, I have
with
to
a mustache. You're not technically a twink. Yeah, you actually have to like your color coding depends on your jean color, but like.
And since my legs are so long, most of my outfit is my pants.
Right.
So like,
as a fat fuck with a nice hearty double chin, the darker the colors I wear, the better. But I can get away with wearing a dark set of jeans with a light colored button shirt.
Fair.
So
I can respect that.
Yeah.
But I gotta buy some more jeans. Because there's like one pair of jeans I like. I buy Levi's. I know.
Levi's, dude, they're cheap, they're trashy, and they fucking work.
Yeah, they're like the bog standard Levi's.
Yep.
You know what? Cotton Levi's.
If anybody shits on them, I'm like, well, you obviously haven't worked a goddamn day in your life.
Well, they have got pretty liberal in the last couple of years with like their fashion shit and their political stance. But
yeah, I mean,
I like one pair of their jeans, and they've been out since like the whole COVID thing happened, and I haven't been able to find them anywhere. And then that dumb fuck that wanted meth so bad stole all my fucking jeans, and now I have like one pair, and it was the fucking pair I was wearing when he stole all of them. So I've had a real hard time finding some jeans to wear.
That's unfortunate, skinny little bitch.
I know, right? I'm very picky.
Precisely picky. It's because you're a fucking loyalist.
I am a loyalist.
Coming full circle.
Back to being a loyalist.
Although you're wearing a fucking US pattern, which is very
sexy.
Well,
to be fair, it's a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, I fucking wish you would. Well, actually, no. That's the thing is like you're right. We don't need to have a theme anymore. Like we used to go on like messaging, like, "What are you gonna do tonight?" "Oh, Korean War." "Oh, World War I."
And then we don't even talk about it. Everyone's like, "Oh, that's a nice outfit," and that's it. Yeah.
Right, and it's like fuck it. So now I'm wearing what I wear every day. I was shipping orders today wearing this, and whatever. And Devin's wearing that shit for the first time since you got it last year.
No, I've worn this actually on a few of your streams before already.
Probably yours. I'm not.
No, I've definitely worn it on a couple other streams.
I'm just not remembering.
It's been a while because winter's been going on for forever.
Right.
But I've definitely worn it before on our stream. So
we can get you some patches on that fucker.
I know. I got so many fucking sewing projects to do, Mike. It's not even funny. I've got to put the stars and the Edelweisses on my fucking Austro-Hungarian uniform still. Yep. I have these fucking things to put on my Korean War uniform. I have these to put on the Korean War uniform. I'm up to my ears in fucking sewing projects I have to do. So
yeah, do some research on First Gulf War with U.S. shit. The reason I chose the 1st Infantry Division out of all the units that were there, is because of that one time we were talking about Timmy McVeigh.
Yeah.
He was in the 1st Infantry Division.
Of course he was.
And I'm like, well, let's get it done.
Damn. Yeah.
Yep. But if you wanted to pick a different unit or whatever and all that shit, and
I want to pick like the most obscure, terrible unit, like the 373rd Transport Battalion, the ones that just did nothing. Just somebody that did nothing. Like, right, what the hell kind of unit's that? I'm like, it's a nobody truck driver.
Battalions out of patches, though, usually.
Yeah.
So you got to pick the fucking parent unit of them. Like,
oh, fair.
You pick the shittiest fucking unit.
Yeah, just like, what the fuck's that? I don't know.
Yeah. You know, put your last name on your tape.
50 cents off eBay. It's an original.
Right. Put your last name on the tape and then U.S. Army with the desert. It's like mine is the one that I have. The original blouse is like got the original green U.S. Army tape on it.
Yeah, back when they still were using the green.
And there's a bunch of like, there's a bunch of fucking, you know, Cold War era veterans. They're like, well, at Desert Star veterans, they're like, we never had the flag on our uniform, and it was reversed, so we did. So you're wearing it wrong. And I'm like, well, literally, this is the way it came from the factory in 1984.
Yeah.
Right? Before that rule was a thing. And so yeah, I had that on that shoulder, and they're like, that flag is wrong. And I'm like, why don't you go tell the people that set it at the factory that they're wrong?
Yeah.
You know, like it's the way. And I've seen pictures. I'm gonna try to find them.
There's actually pictures of where the flag is.
Well, especially in the Sinai in 1984.
Yeah, in the correct
over there.
way. Yeah. And what's that thing that they do in Egypt all the time?
That I'm trying to remember the name. Operation
Bright Star or something like that.
Bright Star. That's what it is. And so that's what, you know, that's that uniform was designed for. It's got the Elvis Presley collar, you know, the huge one, and then it had the flag on there because of that. But a lot of those uniforms that weren't used for Bright Star were used in Desert Storm.
Yeah, they were like, well, we already have these ready to go.
Issue them out, right? Because we can barely get all the gear out in desert. Like
typical U.S. fashion. Shit, stuff's happening. Give them what we have.
Right. But yeah, so that was the thing. Is like, was it the norm? No. But did it happen? Absolutely. Quite a bit more than the exception.
As they would wear those out, they would be replaced. But you know, somebody stuck it out through the whole fucking war with one of those. So,
well, the war lasted 3 days.
Yeah, true. Well, exactly. Somebody stuck it out with the whole fucking war.
It's like, yeah, exactly. A lot of people, but like, yeah, you see a lot of these people that wear these things because they're issued like that. And then, but the name tapes and the patches, the majority of like the active units, like Marine or Army, you'll see that they have the tan name tapes.
Mm-hmm.
But actually,
the green patches still.
Yeah, the green patches. Yep. And a lot of these guys though had the green fucking, you know, so and so U.S. Marines, so and so U.S. Army.
Yeah.
With the green, like the embroidered style, or the Vietnam like nylon woven style.
Yeah.
You'd see a lot of that, and so it's so cool. And then, like the one analysis I've done on a photograph so far of a guy in the 101st, he's wearing green jungle boots, like Mark, my reenactor friend. He was in Desert Storm, like legitimately he was there, and he was wearing green jungle boots.
Yeah, well, that's the tropical boots they had at the time. So
right, in large numbers because they had them all. They were making them, and so he was wearing those, and that was such a funny story. Like I think I told you this, like. He got called out on a Facebook group that I was on. We were like, we were talking, we're like, I wonder what would happen if we posted pictures of ourselves and said that these were our impressions to see what people would think. And Mark got corrected on his jungle boots. They're like, no, they would have worn tan jungle boots. You know,
definitely not in Desert Storm.
Right. And he's like,
the vast majority of people
we played it up for a while. We played it up. And that's right. I posted a picture of me like when I was in Kuwait before we went up to Iraq. And they're like, oh, well, this is wrong, and this is wrong. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, right on.
Yeah.
You know, and we played it up for a bit. And then Mark like told these people in the comments, he's like, well, that's actually me in 1991. And that's what I was issued. I was also issued a fucking M16A1. Okay. Yeah. And he's like, that's a picture from me in Saudi Arabia.
In Desert Shield or whatever, yeah.
I don't remember, Mark, if it was Saudi Arabia or Kuwait, but like he was in the desert, like he was there, and he's like, that's me there at that point. That is historically accurate because that is is what it is.
That's history happening.
Right.
So
right, and then all these fucking people got so pissed off. They're like, "Well, the whole point of this group is not to deceive people." It's like, we're not. We're proving a point that like you need to relax on your. That never happened. It's like, well, the question you should be asking is, can you show me documentation?
You should have been like, well, I bet you're a Holocaust denier too, then.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that one group got really fucked up like that. Like it was insane how.
Yep.
But
yeah, there's a budget. Yeah, the U.S. government is very big on, well, this is what we have left over, and it's the closest thing we could do right now. Use it.
Well, like you look at like, so when my dad was in Iraq in 2004, right? So a full year after the invasion, they still were wearing woodland gear.
Yeah, that was a big thing until like 2006.
Right. They didn't and they went to the ACU shit, and they were still wearing desert, 3-color, woodland, and ACU all in one uniform.
Yep.
That's a really fun era to look at pictures from.
Yeah, you have a helmet cover that's desert. Yep. Your uniform's ACU, but your vest is woodland.
Yep.
So,
or your pants are fucking desert, and like it's or all your pouches are it's so fucking insane. But yeah. So when people, I hate when people deal in absolutes with history.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's a big thing. Like you could see it over and over and over again. Like you look at like Vietnam. Guess what? The first people in Vietnam, they didn't have jungle boots at that time, so they gave them those shitty fucking Okinawa boots.
Oh God! Or they just wore their fucking leather boots.
Yeah, they're all leather boots. And then look at like in Korea when fucking winter happened. They're like, here's a bunch of leftover fucking overwhites from World War II and some shitty 43 pattern cold weather gear that doesn't do anything in this type of weather. But
so we've got another super chat. Thad Baldwin. Hey Mike, really enjoying the streams. Keep them coming, bud. Must be Canadian. Has to be, but he's paying in US dollars. It's a fucking conspiracy. Devin, put your beaver snatch back on.
All right, I'm putting my beaver snatch back on.
Center it like a fucking real Canuck.
No, you don't center it.
Because it's gonna obscure your vision. It's a fucking shittily designed fucking hat.
It's just a square. It's literally just a rectangular pouch. It's all this hat is.
Well, it's a cunt cap on steroids.
It's all it is. Yeah, it's a rectangular pouch. It's been unchanged since like the 1800s, the early 1800s. It's just this is how it works.
Jesus.
And you got to do it so that way everyone can see your facet.
Never mind. I can't say that. We'll actually get in trouble for that. I was gonna. No worries. I was going to say the Feijoa word.
Oh, no. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. But the cool thing is, it's like red is like the standard, but green is also a standard depending on what area you're in. And because Canada's real big on the rifle green,
Yeah.
Because the regular army would have wore red, but a lot of people don't know this. The Canadian militia, which was around until like World War I, wore rifle green. So
they're also in North America where green makes a lot more sense.
That's right, it does. Keeps the bears from eating you. Because you look like a salad.
It's funny how like green is usually associated with like in a lot of European militaries. Yeah, like rifles, like light infantry,
because it was the best camouflage. Those were the movers and the shakers of the armies. So they wanted to stay hidden. They were a lot of flanking forces.
The Germans, like their green was, Panzergrenadiers and Jägers. That was they had two different shades of green, but that was
lime green and dark green. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it, but it's just interesting how that's a universal kind of thing in Western culture.
True. Well, I gotta just correct Mr. Zine on here. Yes, the Canadian militia was around until actually the 50s, but as a country militia, it was disbanded just after World War I. They had provincial militias, after that, though. Cool stuff. Rifle green. Really cool. Yeah, the rifle, and everyone did it. Look at the Austrians. They kept the green for a long time. The only people that really didn't were the Portuguese, because they were the only fucking sensible ones from the. You know what their colonial uniform color was?
No.
Brown.
Well, so were the French.
No, theirs were blue.
The colonial infantry?
Colonial French. No, colonial French, like colonial era. Not.
Yeah. My bad. Okay.
Colonial era uniforms, where theirs are like royal.
To be fair,
blue.
You said colonial uniforms. So
no,
I was like
colonial era Portuguese uniforms are all like green and brown.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of people.
We talk about that in my Discord all the time. It's like we all have this weird, like for Napoleonic era uniforms, and I was like, can we just give some appreciation to the Portuguese here for wearing brown in like 1812? So I'm like, those people would have been fucking invisible.
Yeah, compared to the other bright shit, the blues, the reds, the fucking light greens, the fucking
and then I'm like, that's why Portugal had like the 4th largest empire in global history.
Yeah, they still, dude. So you look at it, like Brazil is almost the size of the United States. It's fucking massive.
Yeah, it's like what, the 6th or 7th largest country in the world,
minus Alaska and shit. Like if we didn't have Alaska, it would be almost comparable. Like they'd still be a little bit smaller, but like it's a huge chunk of land. Well, they speak Portuguese there.
Yep.
They don't speak Spanish. They don't speak English.
Portuguese. And the Portuguese were the first one to do colonial empire and the last ones to do colonial empire.
Yeah, and do you know why that is? Them and the Brits were they've been buds for a while.
Yeah, since the 1400s.
Yep.
They had that treaty with each other since the 1400s.
Yep.
The longest running treaty in history.
Well, that's why, because like when I got into the, when I was in my first semester of the actual college, I was like, what's up with the Portuguese getting involved? I can't find a straight answer on this. And the professor was like, he said the name of the treaty. I forgot what it was. He's like, that treaty had been going on for the longest time. He's like,
it's a mutual like defense treaty.
Yep.
So, like, one gets attacked, they all.
It was like NATO or the U or NATO, except
back in the 1400s. Yeah.
Yep. And he goes, so Portugal loves the British because they protected them from a lot of shit, and the British love the Portuguese because they protected them from a lot of shit.
And they get all their spices from the Portuguese.
Right. And so he's like, there's a mutual benefit there. So whenever Britain gets involved in a conflict, you can bet your ass the Portuguese are going to be there.
Yep.
And I'm like,
except for World War II.
Yeah. Yeah.
World War I, though, they joined in.
Absolutely, they wore fucking Horizon Blue.
Stone gray uniforms in the 1908 year, and
they wore Horizon Blue. It wasn't Stone Gray; it was Horizon fucking Blue.
Really?
Oh yeah, look.
They had their own 1916 pattern Stone Gray uniform.
They had their own pattern.
Yeah,
but the color was like the Romanians adopted Horizon Blue.
Fair.
And so, like, no, look at an original, like in a museum, an original Portuguese uniform. It's Horizon Blue.
Okay.
It's not
it's gray. It's all gray, but yeah.
No, but it's
Horizon Blue is more blue, yeah.
It's blue, yeah. Like there's a difference. You know what I mean? And so they did that, and they had their own pattern, but then they wore the PO8 webbing.
And they got SMLEs.
Right,
because served as a British contingent. So
weren't they still using Kropatscheks?
Yeah, in rear line troops, and they were using their Vaqueros or whatever they're called.
Oh yeah, that's what I was missing.
Yeah, the Vaqueros, but
not a good thing for supplies.
All of the people on the front lines, because they served as part of the British contingent.
Yeah, and I know they were
gear and SMLE.
I know that. Yeah,
you see the guys with the weird, like, steeple in hats,
yeah.
and the blue uniforms and the 1908 and the smellies. And they're also the only people that they put their putties on before they put their boots on.
Yep.
So their boots were over their putties for some reason.
Well, they wrapped them underneath their ankle.
Yeah.
Like underneath the like where your heel meets your
support, yeah.
And it's like, well, that makes sense, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. So I thought that's weird. So if you see some guy that's got his putties on weird, He's got a lot of British shit. That's a Portuguese guy, probably.
The Romanians did that a bit in World War II. I don't know if it was at the very beginning or whatever, but like you can see pictures where they actually did that in the Second World War. But
I mean, it makes sense. So, but
it does with the whole point of like putties is like, got a burping fit going on here. Hold on. Is to keep water out of your boots.
Yeah.
I don't see how that would.
And other shit in general, as well as provide some support.
Right. And so I don't understand the whole point behind that. Even though I know it was done, I've seen pictures, but like.
I mean, you'd think it would kind of defeat that, but I mean, it is kind of spongy. So like, you're wearing your pants and you're wearing putties, and like that's a lot of fabric, so it kind of, I guess, would cinch pretty tight to where it wouldn't like let a lot in. I mean, no. Still, obviously, not every case is, everybody's different, and people would tie their shoes different. And
that's cool, Ben. Didn't know that. Like, I knew it was close, but
I just know that they're Portuguese. So. And at one point, the Portuguese royal family lived in Brazil for so long that Portugal was like, "No, you need to come back here and do government shit." They got mad.
So, it's so pretty here.
Pretty much, they're like, it's so much nicer than that dump, though.
Well, it was a good stream. What do you think?
It was a pretty good stream. Right up to the point where we got asked where Kurt Cobain might have been whacked, possibly, sort of.
I'll just give you the really short answer of what I think of that. No.
Drug overdose.
Who knows?
Like every other rock star ever.
At 27, yep. But no, so I think it was a good stream.
Yeah, I think it was a very good stream. There's a lot of good stuff we talked about. We talked about gut health. We talked about the Queen. We talked about Crusades and made fun of almost all of the religions. Bunch of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Explained what kind of hat this was.
We got some fucking super chats for some awesome
fucking people watching. We made some cash money dollar bills.
Right, which that text I sent you today. Yeah, we got some really cool helmet.
We got a lot of stuff to shoot.
Holy shit! Like I'm like super excited about that. It's gonna be fucking awesome this year.
For sure.
So, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks a lot for the super chats. It actually does help, believe it or not. And we'll see you probably maybe on Friday.
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see you. All right, everybody. Next time.